Okay, so really quickly, there's a lot of conversations out there about relationships right now, about men and women, and whose role is what, and do women have to be fit and men don't, and do women have to be held to a high standard and men don't, etc., etc. Let's get all of this just taken care of. Okay, the reality of it is when it comes to dating, it comes down to two things. When you struggle with dating, usually it's one of three things that is an issue, but dating on the premise has two things: preference and availability. Okay, your preference is matched with what's available in your proximity. Okay, your proximity, you can think of it in a couple of different ways. It could be what's available in your financial proximity. It could be what's available in your physical proximity. It could be what's available in your spiritual proximity. But at the end of the day, however you look at it, dating comes down to two things: preference and proximity. So your preferences are based around what's natural to you. If you prefer a woman who's plus size, if you prefer a woman who's tiny, if you prefer a woman who has, what all the girls are going and getting nowadays, the hourglass figures, whatever you prefer. If you prefer a woman with kinky hair, if you prefer a woman with straight hair, whatever, all of it comes down to preference. Okay, so preference and proximity. Okay, those are the basis of how dating happens. You have preferences, and sometimes you either bend those preferences because of what's in your proximity, or you change those preferences because of what's in your proximity, or you don't do either. But however you go about it, your preference that you're looking for, you look for within your proximity. Okay, now that's out of the way. The other thing that you have to think about when you're listening to these different podcasts and reading these people's books and watching the TV shows and the interviews, you have to stop taking every single thing that people say to heart and taking it as a personal attack. There are many men out there who will tell women that they have no value whatsoever. They're not desirable if they're not a size 6 with a big butt, a little bitty waist, and big boobs. But there's also several men out there who will say that I don't prefer that kind of woman. I prefer a woman who's got some bass to her. Okay, it's about preference. Okay, don't get offended because a man's preference is a smaller woman. Don't get offended when a man's preference is a bigger woman. The reality of it is that men and women alike keep getting in bad relationships because they're choosing the wrong thing. They're choosing with shallow tendencies. They're choosing without taking their time to figure out if this person is who they say they are. As long as you keep choosing people based on their looks and that's it, all the woman has to be is cute, all she has to be is with a tiny waist and a big butt, all the man has to be is rich, all the man has to be is muscular. If you are choosing that way, guess what? You're going to end up with a crappy mate every time. You're going to end up with a big penis, high earning, selfish man who makes you miserable. Man, you're going to end up with an itty bitty waisted, big booty chick who has no care in the world about what your needs are, what your wants are. She's not tending to you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. She's not contributing in any way other than just being cute and spending your money. So y'all keep choosing based on these shallow perceptions of people, you're going to keep getting what you deserve. Stop choosing with shallow tendencies and stop choosing so quickly. Be patient. Take your time. Put the person to the test and make sure that they're who they say they are. And by putting them to the test, I don't mean treat them crazy and put them through a bunch of unnecessary madness. I just mean watch their character and take your time. And if you do that and you choose based on character and you choose based on what your preferences are matched with character, you're going to get a better mate. And sometimes you may have to break down that I want an itty bitty waist, big butt chick, and you may have to go for somebody who is more well endowed in the bosoms, who's got some love handles on her, because that might be the woman that actually has the character that you want, that you need. That might actually be the woman that's going to help you not just manage your finances, but who's going to actually take care of your finances in your home and guard your wealth. That's going to be the woman who actually takes care of you and loves on you. Okay? So some of you are passing up good men and passing up good women because they don't look the way you want them to look. And then you go and you get somebody that looks the way you want them to look, and they treat you like crap, and you're unfulfilled. They're cute and they're good to have on your arm, and that's about where it stops. So at the end of the day, choose wisely. Don't choose with all these shallow things and then get mad when you get a shallow shell of a person. Choose with maturity and you'll get better. Doesn't mean that there's not handsome men out there who are muscular, who are good men. Doesn't mean that there's not women out there with tiny waists and big butts who aren't good women. But if you are only requiring those things, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a shell of a person who has nothing to bring to the table except for those shallow characteristics that you sought out. So, choose wisely and understand that it's about preference and proximity at the end of the day. And then after you get through preference and proximity, it's about choosing wisely. If you do those three, if you realize those three things, all these podcasts about the man's role, the woman's role, etc., they really won't be needed, because people will understand what you need when you choose wisely. When you choose wisely, man, you don't have to tell a woman what you need. She anticipates your needs, and she meets your needs before you even know that you want it. Men, same thing. Or women, same thing. A man will anticipate your needs. When he cares about you and he pays attention, he'll anticipate your needs. So stop listening to all these relationship gurus and all of that, trying to tell you how to think, how to feel, and what to desire. The reality of it is that people choose based on preference and proximity. However, they have to take that preference and proximity and add some wisdom to it. And when they do that, they'll choose the right person. Okay? Stop telling people that they're undesirable because they don't meet your personal preference. They're undesirable for you. Okay, whether that's based on their skin tone, their race, their financial situation, whether they have children or don't have children, whether they're big, small, whether they have dark eyes, light eyes, all of that stuff boils down to preference. So you can't tell people that they're automatically undesirable because they're not your preference. At the end of the day, dating is about preference. And the reality of it is that some women have always been what they are. If that's small, smart, big, bold, whatever it is, they've always been what they are. And you cannot change who you are. Sometimes it just is what it is. It is what it is. So people are either going to love you for you or they're not. But when you choose, you have to choose wisely. That's it. Bye.